Hello everyone, Carlos Flores, back on basics. So today's video is going to be a little bit shorter, and it's going to deal with toxic environments. We all deal with different kind of toxic environments. Sometimes in the workplace, sometimes in other places like home or in different environments. And so toxic environments can actually just bring you down and can actually not help you move forward like we've been talking about, right? And so, but before we begin this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, back on basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can see any new videos that come on my YouTube channel. Hit the like button. How to deal with toxic environments. And so if you have a topic that you want me to go over, put it in the comment section. Connect with me on Instagram at Back on Basics. Connect with me on Facebook at Carlos Flores Jr. Connect with me on X at Carlos AFJR. So, toxic environments. Those are the places that can honestly take you out of the here and now, take you out of the neutral zone. Those are the places that sometimes you just don't want to be in. And so those are environments that could take place anywhere, and literally anywhere. And so and sometimes as much as you try to get things moving, or keep on doing things or finishing, or it actually does it holds you back rather than move you forward. And so you have to realize that sometimes you're not in a good environment, whether it is workplace, home, at somebody else's home, and a group that you're in, at an activity that you do. It could be anything. And so you have to make sure that you're always in the here and now. Because if you're always in the here and now, then that means that you're making the most focused decisions. You're processing the most focused, because that's where you're at, because you're not living in the past, or you're not creating a future that hasn't happened. And so you don't want to get pulled either to the future or to the past, because you don't want to live in an environment where it's kind of like smoke and mirrors, or it's kind of like a dream or a nightmare, depending on how you see things. And so you have to understand, right? Again, like I said in my last video, as human beings, we tend to go to the negative. We do. We tend to go to the negative. And then, of course, through different ways, we actually move towards the positive. You don't want to be neither too negative nor too positive. It's best to be in the present, right? It's the middle of the road, right? It's here are the two extremes. The middle of the road is where you can actually make the best decisions, the most optimized decisions that will probably change your life, change environment, deal with different aspects. It is what it is. It's like if you're feeling down in any environment, if you're feeling like things are not progressing the way that you want to, if people bring you down, or if people get you mad, or if you feel hopeless, if you feel like everything that you're doing, everything under the sun, but still little to no progress is being done. You have to realize, right, that things like that, where you're in an environment that is toxic, um, hard, because it can eat you mentally, and it can eat you physically, literally, because it's something that, it puts you in a heightened state, right? We all deal with stress, and stress is not the best thing to deal with. And so, when you're in an environment that is not the best environment for you, the suitable, or you're part of an environment that, people or situations just tear you down, you have to realize that you do have a choice. You do. You do have a choice. You may have to do a little bit of planning as you're still in that environment, and then follow it up with probably the hardest decision that you've ever made. It's hard. It's hard because sometimes, again, we get so used to it. It's kind of like, the story of the frog. The frog that, I guess there was this fable where a frog is put in water, right? And the water's a little bit lukewarm. The thing is, the person that's there, or the thing, or however, increases the temperature little by little, and the frog doesn't see the change in temperature, as small as it is, until it gets to the point where it is boiling hot. But because there wasn't that much of a difference as it went, the frog was actually adapting to the changes in temperature until it boiled. And you don't want to get to that point. And so, this video is one that I wanted to do for a while, because a lot of the times we think that we are in places that we can't get out of, but it's not true. But does it mean that you're going to start over? Sure. I mean, it more than likely that's what's going to happen. Does it mean that you're going to struggle for a while? Sure. It could mean that. Does it mean that you're going to have to work hard? You're going to have to do something that you haven't done in a long time, like education, like learn something new, like deal with toxic people. And it is what it is, right? You are the only one that can make that decision, whether you want to be in that environment or whether you want to get out of that environment and move on to another one. And so, it's one of those things where it's hard to gauge, because a lot of the times, and I'm saying it again, a lot of the times we tend to be either in the past or in the future. We're not in the present. The present, honestly, I'm going to tell you, if you live in the present, or if you're in the here and now when you make the decisions, you'll know the answer. And you've done that because you've been in the present, and honestly, I mean, I'm smiling, but I'm talking to myself as well. The decision that needs to be made. And so, but sometimes we get scared, and sometimes we're like, what if this, what if that, again, right? We're in the past, or what if I don't do this, or what if I don't do that? And that's like in the future, right? And so, but if you're in the present, right, in the here and now, you know the decision, you know it. You just haven't decided to do it. And so it's hard to do that. So one recommendation for me to do is, this is one of the most important times for you to use your support system. And if you don't have a support system, you need to get a support system. There's people that are going to help you make decisions that are hard. There's people that are going to, that are actually making in their minds, they're seeing you make the decision already before you make the decision. Um, and honestly, that has to happen at some point. You have to get your support system involved. Why? Because they're able to see you neutral. They're able to see you in the present moment. They're able to see you from different perspectives that you don't get to see yourself from. And so, or there may be somebody that has gone through that same thing and they've been saying it. Hey, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to do. I've been there. I've done that. This is what you need to do. And so, again, make sure that you're making decisions in the present. Toxic environments are not the best places to be in, right? But again, does it mean that you're gonna lower your standard just so that way these toxic you can waddle through the toxic environment or the situation? No, I wouldn't recommend you lowering your standards. Believe me, I've done that many a times. And I'm going to be frank with you. There's been a lot of times where I've researched things, I've made decisions, I have gone with the respect that I was given by my parents, by my family, about respecting your bosses, respecting the people around you, respecting your friends, respecting your family members and everything. But there are times where it's hard to do though. And you have to make a decision. And so, again, being in the present moment, look to see, right, whether you're in a toxic environment, right? You don't often get heard. You're probably in a toxic environment. If you feel deflated as soon as you are in it, you may be in a toxic environment. If there's lots of clues that tell you that this is not the right scenario, the right place, the right environment, then you more than likely you're in a toxic environment. Is it easy to get out of? No. It may be because you're making a lot of money. It may be because you made commitments. It may be because people are willing to help you, but it's still toxic nonetheless. You have to understand that, right? Don't lower your standards for people. And that's going to be my shorts. I'm going to do short videos in this room today because I wasn't able to go out. It is by choice. I wasn't able to go out because I wanted to watch some TV, some videos. And so, but don't lower your standards. You have knowledge. You have experience. You have things that you have done. You have things that you have learned. Don't lower your standard just because you think that that's the way that you're going to get through whatever environment, whatever situation you're in. You have what it takes to get to where you want to take. Remember, this is a marathon, right? It's not a race. It's a marathon. I'm 48 years old. I'm still running a marathon at 48 years old. Next month, I'm going to be 49. I'm still running a marathon. And you know what? I have experience in a lot of different things. I have education. I have, 2 bachelors, 2 masters. Again, almost finished with a doctorate. I have experience. I worked in a lot of different fields. I have dealt with a lot of situations. Psychology has become kind of like my cape, like Superman, right? Psychology is my emblem because psychology is what humans are made of. It's the way you think, it's the way you do things, right? Cognitive psychology is the things that people do to get ahead in life. Sometimes good, sometimes bad, right? It's the way that you deal with loss. It's different for different people. Some people grieve, some people shut down, some people just want to move on and they push through and they think that they can get through until the good. And sometimes it happens, I'm telling you. But sometimes it doesn't. So again, you have to make decisions in the present time. You have to realize that if you're dragging your feet because you go to work and it's an environment that, is not conducive, it doesn't support you, you may be in a toxic environment. If you're dragging your feet because you're coming back from work, or you're at home, or you're in a group, or you're with a lot of friends that create a toxic environment, then it is a toxic environment. I mean, we sense it as human beings because we tend to, but the thing is that it's masked as a negative event. And that's the thing. You don't want it to be a negative event. You want to make sure that if it's a toxic environment, you have to make decisions. You have to ask your support system to do that. It's one of those things where sometimes you have to, I'm not saying you have to make the ultimate sacrifice, but you have to make a change, or you're going to get sick, or you're going to get to a point where, you're just part of the rat race. You're in that hamster wheel, just spinning around just because you think that that's the best that you can do, and you're not. You can do better. You can get to the place where you want to get to. And I'm telling you this because I'm making videos about different topics every single day. This is one of the hardest topics that I've talked about, because we all live through some of these. We all are dealing with some of these. We all are in the middle of some of these. And with social media, and with videos, with shorts, with things, again, right? And thank you to the 115 subscribers that have subscribed to this channel. And I know, right? And I know it, reality, right? And I've said this in a previous video. This channel is going to grow slow and steady, right? Slow and steady. It's like that pebble going down the mountain. As it hits and it gets compacted by snow and it hits that momentum, it'll be unstoppable. And it's unstoppable. I appreciate all of you that watch the videos. These videos, I mean, they're all going to be free. It's on different topics. I want you to tell me different topics for me to go over, because I want to help you out. I'm part of your support system. Remember, I'm part of your support system. So there's options. There's choices. There's always choices everywhere. You're not stuck anywhere. Believe me. Sometimes you get stuck in your mind. Sometimes you get stuck in your body. Sometimes you get stuck in an environment. You have choices, and they have to be made in the present moment. I believe in you, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I mean, and I'm still smiling because I'm excited that you're going to see this, and I'm excited that you're going to look at things from a different perspective, right? You're adapting. You're making progress by knowing that you don't have to be the first one. You don't have to be the second one. You don't have to be the third one. You just have to finish. Again, a marathon. You just have to finish. So let's get together, right? The 115 subscribers, thank you again. Those that have been watching the videos, those that have been promoting the videos throughout the different social media outlets, thank you. And we'll get together and we'll succeed as a team, right? We'll succeed as a support system. So let me know if you have any topics that you want me to go over. I'll be more than happy to do so, right? This one needed to happen because sometimes it's kind of like an example where there was a dog that every time there was a psychology experiment. In psychology, again, example, right? There was a psychology experiment where there was a dog that was in a cage, and there was a bull that was connected to electricity. So it got electric shock every time he would try to go and get food. It got shocked. So he laid down. Then he got up again. And then he tried it again. And then he got shocked, or it got shocked. The dog got shocked. And then he went down again. And then got up. And then he tried it again. And then he got shocked again. And then he laid down. There was one point where he tried it one last time. And guess what? It got shocked. And it lay down and did not get up again. It rather just starve than be getting shocked all the time. How much are you going to take getting shocked? What's it called? Not literally, but you know what I mean, right? Before you get up and you kick that door out and you leave and you say, let me find a place where I can be myself. Let me find a place where I could be in the here and now. Let me find a place where I could thrive and I can get to the goals that I set for myself. Does it mean that every place is toxic? No. Does it mean that it has to be perfect? No. Because there's always toxic people all the time. There's people that, you know, sometimes are jealous. Sometimes they don't see that, you know, you're doing it for the good of your family or your friends or your community or your support system. So again, be in the present. Make your choices. See if you are in that type of environment and make your choice. It's up to you. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm just giving you examples, and I'm just telling you that it's going to wear you down. Believe me. So, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Back on Basics 9985. Hit the notification button so that way you can get notified of any new videos that are happening. Hit the like button. Hit the like button for how to deal with toxic environments. Right? What can you do? How can you make the choice to get out if that's what you want to do out of toxic environments? Till next time, Back on Basics.